Good afternoon. Today we have a Mustang GT, one of the newer gens. I think it's a 2016. The person before the one who owns it now ended up putting these pinstripes on it. They are damaged from the sun and it really sucks, but I have my trusty new steamer toy, which you guys haven't seen yet. Really happy about that. I also recorded this intro once already, but my dang mic wasn't turned on. But I'm here with Hudson and this Mustang, and we were going to wash this thing, but now it's like, no, we ought to get this pinstripe off first, us being you and me. So now we are at this stage and it's not so fun. But other than that, it ought to be a good video, more of a vlog style format just because of the time frame. I have this car for today, Saturday and Sunday, but with the weather and current things going on, and when the owner needs it back, might get cut a little short on Sunday, but as it stands, I wanted to get it washed today. Don't think it's gonna happen though. We'll give it a shot. Yeah. So like I said, this was not fun in any way, shape, or form. Whenever you have vinyl that is UV damage, especially when it's been on there for about 5 years or so and only been soaking in the sun, it's not going to be a fun time. And whenever I first met with the owner and we went over his car and stuff, he understood that. I told him whenever I pull this off, there's definitely a big chance there will be damage underneath it, whether it be paint coming up, whether it be in strips, whether it be in a full freaking slat of paint, or whether it would be just as simple as some discoloration from the UV. He understood everything when walking into this, which is I'm very happy for, because a lot of people would pin the blame on you, the detailer, for the damage of it coming off, when in reality it's the wrap that has been heavily UV damaged over time. Just make sure if you are a detailer that whenever you're talking with a customer, make sure they understand the circumstances of what is going on, and make sure you stay in contact with them throughout the entirety of the detail, because in this situation this guy was very cool, very forgiving, understood everything that was going on, and understood what was going to be given to him at the very end, and told me some cool plans he has for the car. So I'm going to save you guys from the rest of the footage of me yanking off the vinyl, because it was just me with my steamer moaning and groaning and bitching and complaining the entire time. But it did end up coming off. There was, I would say, mild damage. I wouldn't say there wasn't much, and I wouldn't say there's a lot, but there was definitely mild damage on the hood, the roof, the trunk, as well as the top of the front bumper and the wing. The roof had some scores of paint that got taken off. The trunk did as well, but just a very small amount. But I have to say the biggest part of the damage was actually on the hood, the top of the front bumper, as well as the tail end. There was UV discoloration where yellowness has happened to the clear coat, and there really is no avoiding that. I did try cutting and cutting and cutting multiple times with polish, and it's all the way through. Really the only help you can get there is just to respray it. But this detail right here is going to be a minor to major paint correction in the sense we want to get the entirety of the vehicle nice and glossy. We're going to do a two-step correction, which is going to involve cutting and polishing as well as protecting the paint afterwards. This really is a gorgeous color, so I'm going to leave you guys with the wash sequence, and then we're going to move into the correction part of the detail. Overall, it was a lot of fun, and if you guys like detailing content, please help me out by leaving a like and subscribe if you want to see future content, and if you ring that bell, you'll know every single time I upload. Can't believe I waited 6 minutes into the video to ask you guys to like the video, but here we are.
So moving on to the chemical decon stage. This is Adam's iron remover. It's going to take off all the iron contaminant fallout on the surface, and then after that we're going to go ahead and clay bar it. clay bar right here, if it'll focus. I don't think it will. And then I have my lubricant here that's all pressurized and ready to go. I usually start on the windows first to kick in the clay bar. Good morning. It's a little louder in here because of all the fans, but we're on day 3 with the Mustang. Today is all about cutting, polishing, refining, all that good stuff. On some panels we're going to be cutting and polishing, some panels just one step. The main thing is just to get all that marring and discoloration and stuff from the vinyl stripes off if we can. If not, obviously pronto talk to the owner. So I actually have to run to the auto parts store to get me some masking tape because I forgot I didn't have any. So now we need to run and do that and just re-shut down everything I just turned back on for that little intro. Yeah. We are back. We have everything. Just to review, the Mustang is completely washed, decontaminated, all the vinyl is off, and all the adhesive that could possibly come off from the vinyl is off as well. I do have to take some trim and get it taped off, get everything taped off that needs to be taped off. I'm gonna drink a little bit of coffee and then we're gonna cut the roof. So paint's not in that bad a condition. You can see some deep scratches like right there. I don't know if you can see that, but as we work our way down. So instead of me mumbling and jumbling along with this little section right here, let me just explain to you something. It's very, very difficult to see any blemishes in the paint with this particular color, mostly because of how much metallic flake is inside of the paint. Whenever you have a vehicle that is very heavy in metallic substances, you're going to have a very tough time with seeing any kind of blemishes like swirls and scratches because that sort of stuff is very forgiving to the eye. The best thing you can do is light manipulation, but it is very hard to manipulate the light for blemishes to come up while trying to show it on camera. Insanely difficult, let alone trying to get the camera to focus for you guys to be able to see as well. It would also help if I had a better light. So what the dealio is here is that there is UV damage from the wrap. You can barely see it, but you can see there is just a slight color difference. I've cut it once. I'm gonna go ahead and try to cut it again, and maybe a third time past that, and see if I can kind of get it out. But there's only so much cutting you can do, honestly. So we're gonna try our best to get that out. So the hood has been completely cut and it looks amazing. Obviously, as expected, the place where the wrap was has discoloration. It's going to have some little marring marks, some paint that came up like on the edges of the wrap. Here, let me show you. So if you look, you can see the outline. Little tiny strips of paint came off from that. There's also these black marks that wouldn't go away. Boom, boom. It could be wet sanded. You could wet sand this and it probably would come out good. The only problem is that wrap's been on there for like 4 or 5 years and you can see the discoloration, and just from doing like 3 or 4 runs of cutting, really cutting deep into that stuff, and it, you know, to no avail. Like, there's no telling how far you would have to sand for that stuff to go away. I'd rather leave it, play it safe. I talked with the owner, he's completely cool with it, and that's the important thing I always talk about in videos. If there is an issue with paint in any way, shape, or form, or interior or anything, make sure you tell the customer. 9 times out of 10, if you are completely transparent, check in with them daily if it's a multiple day job, maybe even multiple times a day, show them pictures. Usually they're going to be cool with whatever goes on as long as it's not something catastrophic. Granted, I would call this not catastrophic, but you know, getting to worst case scenario. But the owner's cool with it. He is really cool with it. He's in the car community. He understands stuff that goes on with cars. We're even talking about a GT500 hood. We're even talking about a GT500 wing. There's a lot of stuff we're going over. The hood is all done. And I will say, the parts that don't have any damage from the wrap look amazing. Granted, the gloss you get now from where the wrap once was is there, and you can barely notice there even being a problem. Like, that's the nicest part. If you can't get something out, try to make it as glossy as possible to where it blends in. And then over here too, all cut, all nice. We're gonna go ahead and attack this front area and then move to the doors, and then we'll move on to the back, and then move on to the polishing and refining process. This has got to be the toughest paint correction I've had so far, and I'm so happy and so blessed for the experience, because I needed some sort of experience like this. How do I treat it? How do I work with the paint? How do I interact with the customer? I'm actually extremely thrilled. It's a bummer that this nice car is having this much of an issue, and it's kind of a bummer that I filled up 2 SD cards pretty much already. This is gonna be like a 40-50 minute video, but I'm enjoying this. I am absolutely loving it. It's visuals like that make me love what I do. Seeing A, B, C pillars, all that come out to a beautiful gloss from a nice good cut. Dang man, that looks so good. So the entire left side, driver's side of the car has been cut. It looks spectacular, honestly. Now this is like a 1 to 2 stage correction, so I'm not looking to chase every little thing. It's dang near fully corrected, honestly. Granted, a 1 to 2 step polish is gonna bring it to about 80–85% corrected. But overall, this looks fantastic. Going over here by the door. As you can see, looks very good. I will say, when you're using your IPA, I think it's very important to wear gloves, not for the safety aspect, but the whole entire point of you using an isopropyl alcohol spray is to get rid of oils and greases and stuff like that. And believe it or not, your hands are extremely greasy. Your body oils are going to be put onto that paint, and you just don't want that. So I think it's fairly important to go ahead, put on some gloves. And that finishes today. I'll be back here tomorrow, wipe it down with some Adam's ceramic boost stuff. I'm whipped. It was a long Sunday. We'll warp to the next day. Day. Car is done. It looks gorgeous, other than of course the damage, but overall it looks fantastic. Now, as I do with every other paint correction detail, I work on the inside a little bit, so I'm just going to do a general cleanup on the inside, put some UV protection on it with some Meguiar's hyper dressing, throw some tire dressing on this, call it a day. It looks awesome. Absolutely awesome. This stuff is going to work really well to protect the coating as he drives around for a little bit with it now that it's officially cured. Of course, it'll get better and more glossy over time as it sits, but this is going to help out tremendously with gloss, helping out with the longevity of it, all that stuff. Let's go. Well, back seats are done. Put leather treatment on them. It's very dark. So, it's midnight, I just got done editing this 40-minute long video, and I just realized that I did not film any kind of outro. I think the vehicle turned out amazing, and I highly suggest waiting another minute until after this little section here to watch the ending cinematic, because it really did turn out gorgeous. This gray metallic that Ford has is so nice. Even though it was damaged, it turned out beautiful, and I spoke with the owner at length about this vehicle, and we still talk today. He's ordered a GT500 front bumper, he's went ahead and ordered a GT500 wing, he ended up getting the roof wrapped black, so this thing has turned out gorgeous. And even before that, like midway through this detail, it was the game plan kind of changed. It was make this thing as glossy as possible, so that way you can overlook all of the blemishes that is in the paint. And I'd say we did that. It turned out really great. Here's some photos. We did a little photo shoot across the street after we got done, and man was I happy. And it took a long time, I think there was another day added on top of the detail initially because of how deep we had to go and all that stuff, but either way, it turned out great. So if you guys thought it looked good as well, please show me by leaving a like on the video. And if you like detailing content, go ahead and press subscribe. And if you go ahead and ring that bell, you'll know every single time I upload. Every other Tuesday is going to be a shop vlog now, because I think that's a little more realistic than every Tuesday, just because of my schedule currently in with the detailing business kind of blowing up more and more with paint corrections. And of course, every Friday is going to be a detail video. I got plenty of footage backed up, and I'm really excited for the stuff I have to come for you guys. Really excited about a specific one, and if you follow me on Instagram, you might have an idea of what vehicle that might be. So yeah, I won't take any more of your time. I for one want to go to bed because it's midnight. So
Thank you guys for watching. Go ahead and share the video if you want to show people how cool this Mustang is. Is that a good enough excuse to share it? I don't know, but if you share it, it really helps me out too by showing people what we have going on here. A little community building. Thank you guys, and stick around for the cinematic.